Baby Yoda. We all know him and we all love him. I mean, come on, like, he's literally drinking soup. Look at his little hand. Okay. But, I mean, there's more to the child than we know. The child, nicknamed as Baby Yoda, is the latest of his kind to appear in the galaxy, part of a mysterious species. Who are they, though? Where do they come from? In this episode, we're going to try and uncover it, so sit back, relax, and grab a little bowl of soup. Welcome to Star Wars Timelines. In canon, the species was known to have two sexes, male and female. The species itself, when fully grown, was comparable to that of a human child, with green skin, large eyes, and pointy ears. They had 3 clawed fingers and were thought to have a carnivorous diet. A member of this species had a life expectancy that spanned several centuries, aging slowly and remaining as an infant for at least 50 years. It is unknown if every member of the species was force sensitive, but those who were could use extreme force powers such as telekinesis and force healing at a very young age. Or a very young age for that species. Members of this species reach maturity by their 100th year, such as Master Yoda, who began training Jedi when he was 100 years old. They were very rare in the galaxy, with only 3 being known to exist, this being Yoda, Yaddle, and an infant only known as the Child. Yoda was a Jedi Master, taken into the Order as a Padawan when he was very young, and more than 800 years before the rise of the Galactic Empire. He rose through the ranks of the Order to become the Grand Master on the Jedi Council, training hundreds of Padawans during his service to the Order and even after. These included Count Dooku, Obi-Wan, Sin Dralik, and Luke Skywalker. He was one of the few Jedi to survive the Purge and was one of the 3 who decided where the children of Anakin Skywalker, Leia and Luke, should be hidden. After agreeing that Luke would go to Tatooine and Leia to Alderaan, he went into exile on Dagobah. Years later, Yoda harboured regrets about not taking Leia with him to Dagobah. This was until when Obi-Wan Kenobi was killed and reached out to Yoda through the Force, asking Yoda to train the child of Skywalker. Yoda agreed until he found out that Kenobi was actually speaking of Anakin's unfocused son, Luke. Yoda was worrisome but accepted Luke as his apprentice anyway. Yoda trained Luke in the ways of the Force and Luke became his last apprentice. Yoda became one with the Force in 4 ABY, however thanks to Qui-Gon Jinn's spirit, Yoda managed to retain his consciousness without a physical form and became a Force spirit. After Anakin sacrificed himself to Luke on the Death Star, somehow Yoda managed to reach out to Anakin and show him how to retain his consciousness after death. Alongside the spirits of Anakin and Obi-Wan, Yoda continued to guide Luke for many years. 30 years later, Yoda spoke to Luke on the planet Acto to help Luke come to terms with his failed training of Ben Solo and to realise that he had to forgive himself. The next canon member of Yoda's species was a female known as Yaddle. She was born in 509 BBY and was found to be Force sensitive and taken to be trained in the ways of the Jedi. During her service, she was given a seat on the council and trained Master Opa Rancisis when he was a Padawan. She sat on the council during the invasion of Naboo and was present during the council's first meeting of Anakin Skywalker. Following the Battle of Naboo, and before the Clone Wars broke out, she retired from the council and her seat was taken by Master Shak Ti. Nothing is known about Yaddle after that, but we can assume she did perish, at least in the Jedi Purge. This isn't confirmed and this is just rumoured. There are no current stories in canon of Yaddle beyond her retiring from the Jedi Council, but maybe there will be in the future. The third and final canon member of Yoda's species is none other than Baby Yoda, otherwise known as the Child. The Child was born in 41 BBY and was taken from his people and held at a compound run by Nikto mercenaries during the New Republic era. A Mandalorian bounty hunter called Din Djarin was hired by an Imperial client and Dr. Pershing to capture the Child. Djarin was successful in capturing the Child, but on returning to his ship, found that Jawas had ransacked it. The Jawas promised to give him back the parts to his ship on one condition, that the Mandalorian collects a Mudhorn's egg. The Mandalorian engaged the Mudhorn, but the Mudhorn had the upper hand. Just before running the bounty hunter down, the Child used the Force to lift the beast so that Djarin could finish it off. Not entirely sure what he had just observed, the Mandalorian collected the egg and retrieved the parts for his ship back. After having a change of heart, the Mandalorian double-crossed his Imperial client and went into hiding with the child. However, everywhere they went, they were tracked by bounty hunters. Eventually, the Mandalorian and the child returned to Navarro to face down the clients with the help of Greef Karga, Cara Cynthia June, Kulil, and a reprogrammed IG-11. During this mission, we saw the child use two more Force abilities. One where he strangled June through the Force before the Mandalorian stopped him, and another where the child used a healing ability to heal Greef Karga. In the end, Navarro ended up being a trap, and IG-11 and Kulil were killed. However, the Mandalorian, Greef, June, and the child were able to survive. However, before leaving Navarro, the Mandalorian armorer assigned Djarin to take the child back to his people. That is all we know about Yoda's species in canon. In Legends, the name of the species and their homeworld was still unknown. Their appearance and size matched that of what was in canon, however in Legends it was confirmed that all members had extraordinary Force potential. Also like canon, most of them spoke in a slightly unorthodox version of Galactic Basic Standard. Legends also added 3 more members of this species into the galaxy. The first one was Vandar Toca, a male Jedi Master who was head of the Dantooine Jedi Enclave Council during the Mandalorian Wars and the Jedi Civil War. He also held a seat on the Jedi High Council. In the years leading up to the Mandalorian invasion of the Galactic Republic, Toca taught many pupils including Zane Carrick prior to Lucien Dray. Zane had been framed as the murderer of the Padawans of Taris, however in reality it had actually been his current master, Lucien Dray, and other members of the Jedi Covenant. Zane contacted Toca asking for help and attempted to convince him of his innocence. At first, Toca did not believe Zane, however the more he got to know Dray and the more he began watching him, he became very suspicious of him. Eventually, Revan's apprentice, Jedi Knight Alec, now going under the name Captain Malak, contacted Toca and revealed everything he knew about Zane's innocence. A member of the Covenant, Zamar, stepped forward and confessed everything to Toca. After the Covenant was defeated and Zane's name was cleared, Toca offered Zane to return to the Order as a knight. However, Zane declined this offer. During the Jedi Civil War, Toca oversaw the retraining of Darth Revan after he was captured and his mind wiped. Toca and the other Masters were successful in bringing Revan back to the light. He was also one of the commanders during the Battle of Rakata Prime, and after the battle, Toca proclaimed Revan to be truly redeemed and proclaimed him the Prodigal Knight. In 3952 BBY, during the First Jedi Purge, Toca was killed by Darth Nihilus after being betrayed by Jedi Master Atris. During the Cold War, Toca's wisdom, knowledge and personality had been preserved in one of the great Noeticons, specifically the Noeticon of Science. He gave wisdom to future Jedi and thus continued his service to the Order. The next member of Yoda's species was a Jedi Master and Fleet Admiral called Otech, who served the Jedi Order and the Galactic Republic during the Great Galactic War against the Sith Empire. He was educated in the ways of the Force 2 centuries before the war and earned the rank of Jedi Master. During the war, the Chancellor recommended Otech fill the role of Fleet Admiral. Otech left the council with the approval of Grand Master Satil Shan and took command of the dreadnought Telos. During the war, he spoke with the Force ghost of Mitra Surik, otherwise known as Revan's Padawan the Jedi Exile. Mitra aided Otech and a Republic strike team to free Revan from one of the Emperor's facilities, the Maelstrom Prison. Otech survived the battle and escorted Revan back to the Jedi Council to be debriefed on what happened. An extra note here, this story takes place in the MMO Star Wars The Old Republic. During a cutscene, Otech's ship is surrounded and asks the player whether or not he should stay or fall back. If players choose the light side option, Otech survives. If they choose the dark side option, Otech dies on the bridge as the Telos is destroyed. The final member of the short-statured tridactyl species was Mitch, who served as a knight in the Galactic Republic. In 700 BBY, the Council received word that Dark Jedi were terrorizing planets in the Bafash system. Mitch and a team of knights led by Master Tadal ventured into Bafash space to end the violence. Mitch engaged one of the Dark Jedi in combat but was defeated by the Dark Jedi. Master Tadal rescued Mitch and surrounded the Dark Jedi, who killed himself before he could be captured. The Jedi then received word that a small craft had escaped and the Jedi deduced it was the Dark Jedi Master. Mitch was then ordered to take his starflight to pursue. The Dark Jedi fled to Dagobah, where, against orders, Mitch followed him down onto the planet. He crash landed in the swamp and followed the Dark Jedi Master into the cave. In the cave, Mitch found the Dark Jedi and became locked in a duel. After the Dark Warrior played tricks on Mitch's mind, Mitch lashed out in fear and dealt a fatal blow to the Dark Warrior. The Dark Warrior died laughing, claiming that he had turned Mitch to the dark side. Mitch then left the cave to rejoin his fellow Jedi. However, the shedding of the Dark Warrior's blood and the death at the hands of Mitch tainted the cave with the dark side and over time transformed into a focal point of malevolent Force energy. This is all the information we have on the mysterious species. However, if the ending of The Mandalorian's first season is anything to go off of, we can expect more of this species to be revealed possibly in the future. For now though, thank you for watching and may the Force be with you.